Are you a real estate agent, team owner, or broker owner that uses both RealScout and Follow Up Boss? In this video, I'm going to be walking you through 4 different tools that you need to make sure you're using in Follow Up Boss so that you're taking full advantage of the powerful integration between Follow Up Boss and RealScout. So with that said, I'm going to dive right in and share my screen. So in Follow Up Boss, the first 2 things you want to do is set up some smart lists. So under people, you have the ability to set up what's called a smart list in Follow Up Boss. For those who don't know, a smart list allows you to automatically segment your database into smaller lists of people based on various filters you've put in place. Some common filters people use are the age of the lead, the stage of the lead, the last communication, if they have a good number, and if they're coming back to your website and doing some type of behavior. So we're going to be focusing on the behavior as it coincides with RealScout. So the first sort of list you want to create, I call it home valuation from RealScout engagements, or HVA engagements. This list is essentially showing you which leads in your database who have been in your database for a little bit are viewing that home valuation report. So you see here, there's one person here on this list right now. So the way we do that is we add a filter that includes anyone with the tag RealScout HVA viewed. Whenever someone views that home valuation report, RealScout adds this tag to a lead. But we want to avoid just showing anybody and everybody looking at the home valuation. We only want to see people that we need to call. So we exclude people that are current clients of ours or people under contract because we're already in direct communication with them. We also exclude people that are more than 14 days old because we don't want to see someone who's a new lead because they're already in list number 2 or 3. So the nice thing about lists is you can build filters on top of each other to ensure that you're not seeing a lead in multiple places. You also want to make sure that the phone number is good. The purpose of a smart list is to show people to call. If you're wondering, well, what do I do with people I don't have a good phone number to call? That's going to come later in this video. We also have some other various filters like last communication, when it was last updated, and last marketing text reply if you use some sort of like AI texting bot or drip texting service. And what's nice about the list is once you call someone on this list or email them or text them, but preferably call, they disappear from this list so that you know you've taken care of them. So that's the first list. The second one, I call it back to website. So this will show anyone not only coming back to your own personal website, but also anyone coming back to RealScout and looking at properties for sale. And this also would include anyone like re-inquiring anywhere outside of your website or RealScout. So if you have other outside lead generation sources like third-party referral programs or Zillow or Realtor.com, if someone re-inquires again and they were already in your database, they show up in this list. So the filters we put in place are that the last activity was less than 14 days ago. That means the lead has had some sort of activity online on your website, on RealScout, or on one of your other lead providers in the last 14 days. And for this agent's list, this agent has 5 people. We also have a filter for last communication, more than 14 days ago, have to have a good number, created more than 14 days ago and excludes current clients. And we'll actually be adding one other one that excludes people viewing the home valuation report because they're already in the first list I showed you. So that just removed someone from this list because he's already in list number 4. So this shows anyone looking at properties for sale. So if I pull up this person here and look at activity, I can see this person looked at a property last night. And the last time they looked at a property was October 1st. And you can even click this link and see the property that they looked at. And you do have to log into your RealScout account to see the property, but you can click that and see what property they looked at. Okay, now for the automation piece. So although Follow Boss is showing you who to call each day in these smart lists, you also want to have some sort of automation in there. That way, if either you don't have the time to call them immediately, or you do, but you don't reach them, you have some sort of automation in place that helps supplement your attempts to reach someone. So that automation is done under the admin automations page. So what you want to do initially is create an action plan. The first action plan you want to create is a back to website plan. So this back to website plan that I've created lasts 6 months long, and it references the property they viewed. So I use a merge field here for the viewed address, and I ask, like, what was it about the property that caught your eye? And if they don't respond, it continues on for a total of 6 months. So creating some sort of drip campaign that attempts to re-engage them if you're not able to call them immediately, or if you do call them but don't reach them. And the way we automate that is under admin automations. We create an automation where if a property is viewed or property is saved, those are the two triggers that can happen. This isn't an and function, it's an or, viewing a property or saving a property. We have these conditions in place. So similar to the smart list, where we don't want to see someone we don't actually need to call. We also don't want to automatically email someone that doesn't need to be emailed. So just someone we just spoke to, someone who's already on a new lead drip, someone we're working with, someone who's a past client. And once all those conditions are met, if all of them are met, then they receive the back to website automation. We also let it run multiple times so that, let's say someone views a property today, they run through the whole action plan. When the action plan finishes, if the lead comes back to the website 7 months from now, this action plan triggers again. So that's the first automation. The second is for people viewing your home valuation tool. So the action plan we created is called RealScout HVA Viewed. So what this does is it sends a set of emails over the course of 8 months to try to re-engage the lead and thank them for looking at your home valuation tool, let them know it's just a starting point for understanding your home's value, and offer a custom report. And that campaign lasts 8 months long until they respond or until you reach them, and then you want to pause it. So the way you automate that in Follow Boss is under admin automations. Let me find it here. The trigger is that tag being added. So just like we use that tag for the smart list, we also use it for the automation. When this RealScout HVA view tag is added, we have all these conditions in place to exclude specific stages and exclude other filters. And if all of these are met, then they'll receive the RealScout HVA viewed action plan, which lasts 8 months long. And same thing, we want to allow it to run multiple times so that if 9 months later they look at the valuation report again, the action plan can run again. 2 bonus automations for you. So Follow Boss has the ability to do all of these all of these drips via email. But as you've noticed, Follow Boss doesn't have the ability to do drip texting. They do that with intentionality. So they do that because they want to protect your phone number reputation. Because you're using your Follow Boss number, and it is best practice to use your Follow Boss number as your main business number to call people, you want to ensure when you call them, 1, they actually get your call, it's not blocked, and 2, you don't show up as spam likely in the caller ID. And the more that you text and drip text from a phone number, the more likely it is that the caller ID will show up as spam likely. So Follow Boss does that for a reason. However, there are third-party platforms that integrate with Follow Boss that allow you to drip text. And there are 2 that we've partnered with that we use all the time. The first one is called Texting Betty, and the second one is called Lead Engage. And so the way it would work is very similar to the email drips. We would create an automation to say, when the RealScout tag is added, if all of these conditions are met, then start the RealScout viewed action plan for texting. We actually did a study of 100 clients to see what their response rates were with the drips whenever they used email only, and then how the response rates were affected whenever they moved to also text. So here's some stats for you, at least with the campaigns we use. For the back to website automation, when it was email only, it was getting a 27% response rate. Once we added on the texting, it jumped up to 53%. So over half of the people that were either never reached and could be over a year old, or half people who ghosted you are responding to the text messages and emails. Then for viewing this home valuation report, email only, it was getting a 40% response rate, which is not bad considering it's only email. But once we added on the texting, it got a 74% response rate. We took that across the average of 100 clients who have used these automations for at least 100 people who have been using them for at least 6 months. So that gives you an idea of how powerful not only automation is and email automation is, but also how powerful it is to add on texting automation. I hope you found this video helpful. I'm sure somewhere in the description or information below will include a link to our website. So for those who don't know, my name's Elena. I own a company that helps real estate agents, teams, and brokerages set up their Follow Boss account, including some of the things that I showed you here specific for RealScout. So if you're looking for help and you're open to outside help with setting up Follow Boss with action plans, automations, smart lists, best practices, training, stages, standard operating procedures, then you can learn more about our services in the link in the description.